So I'm Jean-Philippe Evrard. I'm working for Rackspace in London. I'm working on the OpenStack Ansible project, and I'm now the PTL of OpenStack Ansible.
I'm David Moreau Simard. I work out of Montreal for Red Hat. I'm mostly involved in RDO. So we build, test, and ship RDO. But I also happen to be working on ARA, which is a project that we'll be talking about. What's ARA? ARA is a project that we created at RDO and eventually moved to the OpenStack community. ARA is records the results that are everything that happens throughout the playbook run, an Ansible playbook run. So you run. So one of the challenges that we have is that we use Ansible a lot at RDO to drive deployments, to drive infrastructure, to drive most importantly CI. And when you're looking at hundreds of jobs every day, it breaks all the time. It's kind of depressing actually, but that's part of the job. But anyway, looking at the Ansible output in the console was not very helpful. So we tried to tackle that problem in a matter of different ways, but none of them really fully fixed the console output for us and made it easy. Not just for me, I'm used to looking at jobs all the time, but ramping up someone to be able to troubleshoot the CI was particularly challenging. So I came up with the idea of recording everything that happens in an Ansible run in a database, and then put an interface on top of that database to make organize basically all these 50,000 lines of console into an intuitive interface, so that you can browse what hosts were involved in that playbook, what tasks had occurred, what was the status, and everything. So that made it easier, not just for me, but for the RDO community to browse the results of their jobs. So part of the Ansible usage that we do at RDO is a framework that allows us to run gate jobs outside of the gate. So for example, we use the integration jobs that are running against Packstack and Puppet OpenStack, for example. So we take those gate jobs and we run them with Ansible, with the help of Ansible, outside of the gate, but against our trunk development repositories. That allows us to test our packages, but also helps test the upstream projects themselves. So there is this tight collaboration between RDO and the different deployment projects. And ARA was an important part of that because it allows everyone involved in the CI of RDO to get up to speed quickly and see what's going on.
So OpenStack Ansible, this cycle has worked on improving the gate jobs, making them more consistent across the many repositories we manage. And one of the work we've done was including ARA, whatever the name is.
I'm French, so let's say ARA. ARA okay. Is fun too.
So ARA into a workflow, and what happened is we realized that first it was very helpful for the same usage that Red Hat did, and second, when we introduced that, we realized that the more jobs we had, the more scenarios we have, because the test coverage in OpenStack Ansible was increasing all the time, and that's what we want to focus. The more we had jobs, the harder it was to really get a grip on what was failing, because we had to go into many different jobs and see what was the failure in that case. And ARA was modified by one of our team members to include a subunit output So this way, this output could be used in the OpenStack gating system and in OpenStack health page. And we could now, with an easy web interface, search about all the jobs and see the ARA results that is showing, well, the job succeeded or failed. So it helps us tremendously on every analysis we want to do. So on a regular day, I'm checking the OpenStack health status, and without ARA, I wouldn't have been able to do that. So that is very helpful. Thank you.
Thanks. So OpenStack Ansible was a very early user of or adopter of ARA, and there was something between the ARA project and the OpenStack Ansible project that probably wouldn't have been possible if both projects weren't part of the greater OpenStack community. So they were an early adopter, and it really helped ARA grow into what it's become today. Their use case were different than what we were doing in RDO. They had much larger scale playbooks against more hosts and stuff like that. So it was as silly as when we used to generate a report for RDO, ARA allows you to generate static reports so that you can include all the relevant data inside your CI jobs. So when we would generate the report in RDO, it would take a couple of seconds. But when we were trying it with OpenStack Ansible, it takes a couple of minutes. So okay, let's work together and fix that. So there were a couple of things like that, and it was this tight feedback loop between the ARA project and the OpenStack Ansible project that allowed. It was basically a win-win, right? So ARA was improving thanks to just the usage and the feedback that they were providing, and they were in turn, getting better reports and better performance, and so this collaboration was really what probably kickstarted the project, and that would not be an understatement, because otherwise, so we were using it in RDO, of course, but now it's used all over the place, but it's mostly thanks to the very early improvements that we did thanks to the OpenStack Ansible community. I'm still like, they've contributed a few patch. I'm trying to get them to contribute a little more, but I'm really happy with just even the contributions that they've did. It's really appreciated. It's awesome. So if you want to learn more about ARA, there's stickers if you happen to be at the PTG, but you're going to be seeing this interview like a couple of weeks probably, so I just said that for nothing. But if you want to learn more about ARA, we are on the IRC on Freenode in pound ARA. There's also a Slack channel now, so otherwise it's on GitHub, github.com/openstack/ARA. And yeah, that's it.
On our side, we're also available on Freenode on #OpenStack Ansible, OpenStack-Ansible to be precise, and github.com/OpenStack Ansible is the first reference that goes to our documentation and explain all the repositories we have, all you can do with OpenStack Ansible.
Thanks a lot for your time, GB and Rich.
Thank you.
Thanks.